Burnout is a 1979 drag racing film about what it takes to succeed on the racing circuit and what drag racing can give in return. Directed by Graham Meach Burkstone, Burnout stars Mark Schneider, Bob Loudon, and John Zenda. On a racetrack in Southern California, Scott is trying to convince his rich dad that drag racing is his future. After listening to his son's pitch, the father decides to invest in Scott's dream with the best car and best crew that his money can buy. But that's not enough to win races. Scott leaves the money behind and strikes out on his own, begs his way onto a pit crew, starting at the bottom and working his way up to a chance to prove himself again. Will Scott get his moment? If he does, will he rise to meet it? Over the decades, Crown International Pictures had plenty of high-octane moneymakers in their library, so it's easy to see why they saw Burnout as a potential hit. And Burnout featured a star-studded lineup, superstars of drag racing, that is. The film showed a coming-of-age plot in the footage of the Buell Sereno Roads racing team running the 1975 circuit of North American drag racing competitions. Many of the sport's big names of the time made an appearance in Burnout, no doubt appreciating the story of a boy who figures out he can't buy his way into the sport, he has to grind his way up, quarter mile by quarter mile. Burnout attempts to celebrate everything about the drag race life. There's footage of them racing the cars, building the cars, wheeling the cars out of trailers, putting the cars away, setting the cars in position. After a while, it starts feeling like an instructional video. And drag racing isn't like the endurance racing scene in NASCAR or Le Mans. Drag racing is like a samurai duel, where the competitors pair off, position precisely, wait for the moment, and then they're done in a blink. A decent race is over in less than 7 seconds. So, what's in the rest of the movie then? Well, the scripted part of this movie is Scott's journey to step out of his dad's shadow and become his own man through the power of drag racing. But there's no style or energy to the tale. Most of the cast are non-actors anyway, the actual riders and builders and crew from the racing scene who weren't trying to become movie stars, they just did the movie for fun and gas money. And the filmmakers on the other side of the camera don't do much to build the drama either. They lean on the announcers to spell out the action. Exploitation fans will not get their hearts racing from watching Burnout. There's no blood, no sex. This is the only crash in the entire film. No pileups, real or staged. Those watching for the wildest women promised on the movie poster are going to be particularly disappointed by the lack of celebration of the female form. Even though the cast includes such legendary racetrack beauties as Linda Vaughn and other Miss Hearst Golden shifters, they're glorified cameos that the camera barely registers. There's a scene at a go-go club around minute 44, but it's an afterthought, treated like a distraction from Scott's quest for self-actualization. Most of the cast were non-actors, but there are two exceptions of significance. Scott is played by Mark Schneider, maybe the only cast member not from the racing scene. Driver Crystal Ramar was Schneider's stand-in on the track. Schneider had previously appeared in another big-screen vehicle, celebrating a vehicle, 1977 Supervan, and he would find steady work on TV afterwards, particularly in daytime soaps. John Zenda, meanwhile, was a racer who caught the acting bug on the set of Burnout. He would end up playing plenty of cops and henchman roles on 80s television, as well as wearing badges in movies like Colors and Halloween 2. As a movie, Burnout is too laid back, too reverential to the sport to sensationalize it. Folks looking for something fast and furious will feel restless. But like a lot of 70s movies about cars, there's a zen aspect to it that some audience members appreciate. The best way to watch this movie is like a scrapbook for the drag racing scene of the 1970s, with a fictional thread tying together the real people and cars that raced it.